Good.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Airtime. I have a new special guest, Zion Zenith, and we have AKEagles. What's going on, man?
What's up? Thank you for bringing us on today. What's up, Eagles? What's up, Logan? Let's get it.
What's good? How you doing, AK?
Yo, what's good, man? Appreciate you having me on. Thank you for inviting me back. And yeah, interested to chill here and talk with you guys.
Yes, sir. So, just to start it off, how was your guys' weekend?
Go ahead, Zion.
It was good. Other than that shitty ass main event we had at WrestleMania, I spent my weekend watching WrestleMania, and it was pretty good. Yeah, we got to see Stone Cold. We got to see Stone Cold do the stunner and actually wrestle for the first time in 19 years. So that's a plus. Plus two, he even appeared on the second night to kind of save a weird ending in that Pat McAfee match where the boss had to get in the ring and do the boss things, and then we were saved by him getting stunned. Pat McAfee getting stunned, which Pat McAfee, I want to point out, did an absolutely amazing job. We did have a good jackass match. I don't want to get too much into it because we are gonna react to it a little bit later on Premium Takes. Plus two, if you guys don't know, later on today, Mac is doing his reaction on his channel. But other than that, it was good.
All right. What about you, AK? How was your weekend?
Oh, it was good, man. Kind of hung out with the family all weekend and, just took some personal time with them. Played some WWE 2K and then watched WrestleMania this weekend. It wasn't bad, man. It was much better than the last two pay-per-views I watched by far. But yeah, gotta say that was a terrible stunner Vince took, man. That terrible, that was just the worst stunner I've ever seen. I mean, Linda McMahon pulled her stunner off better than he did now. Granted, he is old. I get it, but wow.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
They labeled the main event as the greatest match in WWE history. That was fucking terrible.
Trash.
But
yeah, we all knew it was gonna be trash too, though. The last time they matched up 2 years ago, the audience was playing with a beach ball. We couldn't expect that much out of it. The intro was so long for nothing.
yeah, man, it's fucking terrible. But with that being said, I told you guys before this podcast started I was gonna ask you some weird ass deep questions. So I'm just gonna start. What was your biggest failure, and what did you learn from that experience? We'll start with Zion. We got Big Play Bitch. What's going on, bro?
Yo, whoa. Don't talk about our supporters like that. What's up, Big Play Slay? Thank you for joining in. Thank you for holding on the chat. Biggest failure in life? I was fascinated with basketball at a young age. I idolized Allen Iverson, idolized Jordan, idolized Kobe, idolized Shaq at the time. I used to go to Payless Shoes and buy Shaq shoes, and like that's before, like, don't get me wrong, I had my fat forms too, but like that's before like all this amazing shoes that they have nowadays. Like obviously they always had amazing shoes, but like I was broke, so like
The
my
Shaq
mom could
Gnosis. The
my
Shaq
mom could
Gnosis.
afford the Shaqs, I pay less shoes and stuff, and just playing basketball all the way up until 13 years old, and then making the choice not to go to. I had plenty of options to play basketball, but making the choice to not continue, because from the age of, I would say, 5 to 12, all I did was say was I wanted to play in the NBA. I wanted to be in the NBA, and that's all. That's all the goal was, to get a scholarship. That's the only goal at the time, was to get good enough and get a scholarship and play in the league. And at the age of 13, life kind of took me in the way of skateboarding and other things in life, that I kind of put my NBA dream. I tossed it aside, and I got my invested into like following football and watching football, and the NBA as my main sport kind of faded, and the dream of being in the NBA kind of faded. So that'll probably be the best way to answer that question.
All right, bro. What about you, AK?
Something I failed in life. Wow.
We all failed at a lot of things, but
Yeah, no,
at
I'm
the end
just
of the
trying
day,
to think of one that would have been.
Especially me.
No, I'm just trying to think of one that would have been truly like a life lesson, to learn from, not just one that's stupid. Um,
Mhm.
well, here's one. I didn't take my job seriously enough when I was 16, because I knew at a young age I pretty much my options were unlimited and I could get a job anywhere. So some of those jobs that I eventually knew that I liked doing later on, I pissed those jobs away just by being immature. So, that taught me later on in life just to take it more serious and just be thankful that you got what you got.
All right. I feel you.
I like it.
And I know AK here. One sec. Oh, damn message. Let me meet that. I know AK wanted to touch on this, and so I'm just gonna ask. Oh, we got Jay in the chat. What's going on?
Absolutely. We talked about that earlier off stream.
Yeah,
But we
Saints
can
and
bring it
Eagles
up if you
trading
guys want to
picks.
bring it up. We have an Eagles fan in the house in AK. I mind to talk about that for a little bit if you guys choose to.
Yeah, we could be good. So, AK,
Yeah.
before I ask that question, what's your thoughts of the trade that just went down for the Eagles and Saints?
Well, like I said, I like it, man. We got 2 firsts this year, 2 next year, so that's 4 first-round picks in 2 years. It's good, but uh, you know, there's a part of me that, if you knew you were going to trade one of those away, I wouldn't have minded you going after like Tyreek Hill, especially if we saw something like that. Because if you're going to evaluate Jalen Hurts, in my mind, you got to put the best people around him, at least that you can afford and stuff, right? Well, really you're going into this off season up until the draft here and we see what they do, but with only one addition to our offense, which is Pascal, that's not much of a upgrade at offense, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you would have gotten like Tyreek Hill with like the 16th or 19th pick and maybe a wide receiver in the draft this year, and you actually put those weapons around him and he failed, then that's a legit reason to be like, hey, it,
Mhm.
he failed, and not just that, but I'm also looking at it as if Jalen Hurts also fails, you're expecting the next guy that you draft to come in and do amazing with what you just gave Jalen Hurts. Like you got to go somewhere. I just feel like we're just burning out and sitting in one spot all the time. So I do like it. I mean, the assets are great to have, especially if we use them properly and don't be stupid with them. But yeah, we'll see how it goes, man. Sure.
Yeah. And back on to the questions. I'm gonna ask this one to Zion first. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Hold on, I got a phone call on my Mac. If I could go back and give my 18-year-old self, why is that so funny?
How do
Come
you
on,
get a
why?
phone call on your computer? Is my I don't fuck Apple
It's the
devices.
ecosystem. If I could, I didn't just disable that setting. Anyhow, I would just say, stop procrastinating and stay true to yourself. I'll give that a self to my 29-year-old self. I'll give that same advice. But I think when I was 18, I had all these offers. I was telling Lou this the other night when we were talking. I had these offers of all these great producers, and I had all these contracts in front of me. And I'm not trying to say like I was anything amazing. I'm not trying to say I would have done something by now. All I'm trying to say is if I stayed through and really just gave a fuck about anything, gave a fuck about like starting a YouTube channel, or video gaming, or hanging out with the homies, and really just invested all the time, I would have told my 18-year-old self, invest 110% of your time in the rap. Because that's what I really wanted to do when I was younger, and I had a lot of offers, and I probably would have made something of myself in rap if I would have not even accepted those offers I had in front of me, but just invested the time in music, because I went from having all these offers in front of me at 18 to having zero at 29 and having to start from scratch. If I want to release a project, a mixtape right now, it'll be literally starting from scratch because I have zero fans in that genre. Back when I was 18, I had I had several fans, not that much fans, but I had several fans, and just be like stay true to rap, and that's why I tell artists nowadays, young artists like Champ, you know what I'm saying? Like he's inspired to be a rapper. I tell Champ like you're 19, bro, like don't ever stop believing in yourself, stop procrastinating, and just get out there and fucking do it, bro.
Yeah.
And I love that.
And
Is that answer your question, bro?
yeah, that's a good answer. And I'll give the W to the Saints. But what about you, AK?
I mean, they don't have a first next year, as far as right now. So I'll give us the W. But like I said, man, it's a good move, but I would have liked to see something a little more come out of those draft picks if I could have.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a good move.
And if you could go back and give your 18-year-old self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Follow your dream and go to college the first time when you said you were going to.
Let's get it.
That's a good answer, man. That's a very damn good answer.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna lie, man. If you truly have a desire to do something, do it. Don't ever let anyone hold you back. But there was Jim Carrey said something a little bit ago. He was like, man, he's like, my dad's actually funnier than me. He's like, and you guys love me. He's like, my dad is way funnier than me. He's like, the only reason that you don't know about him is because he didn't follow his dream.
I heard that.
And he was like, and that's one thing my dad told me. He's like, don't be me, son. He's like, do it. Try. All you can do is fail.
There's a player out there that could have been better than Lawrence Taylor, but he didn't follow his dream.
Yeah. And don't ever let anyone tell you can't do something. If you're good at it and you feel you're good at it, do it.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I asked this question to AK on the last episode, so I'm asking to Zion because I know he has a lot of good paranormal experiences. What's the most physically terrified you've ever been in a paranormal situation?
It'll probably be the story that I told you about just going to the Putty Lookout. Actually, it's funny that I have the background. That's like the Putty Lookout, and like just seeing that, like being young. And I don't want to get into the full story because it takes some time. You got to bring me on another episode. We'll get into that story. But just seeing a 15 by 15 feet tall by 10-foot wide creature of some black shadow crawling down the mountain.
I never heard this story.
I actually called it in on you can actually call in I'm gonna give him a plug. Monsters Among Us. It's a podcast. It's a paranormal podcast. He's on Spotify. He has pretty good numbers. I actually called in and gave my experience on that episode. And for a future time on next episode, just keep tuned in to Airtime. Hit that sub button. Hit that notification bell up for these guys. This next generation is trying to do big things, and us as the generation before them is supporting them. So I hope you guys can support them too. That being said, stick around. We'll have that episode one day.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna ask this question to AK because I know he has a lot of these experiences. What has been your least favorite job to date?
I want to answer that after AK.
Yeah, I knew this would be a good one.
Being a maximum security prison guard.
Ooh, you was a CO?
Oh yeah, dude. I was a CO down in Beaumont, Texas, at the Styles unit.
Okay, I love it.
Texas. I at first I really liked the job. I won't lie. I was not one of those people who really looked at the inmates and was like, granted, yes, I understand that, they've done harsh things and they've done stupid things that winded them up in there. But in the end, though, people are still people. They still have feelings, Some of these people down there really, truly
treat them like animals?
Yeah. They really are vile about their job, and they have no remorse. They just beat up on them because they can,
Mm.
you know.
They have that authority. But they
Yeah,
feel like they don't
because
have that authority, but they feel that they have the authority because of that figure. Like, you're
yeah,
locked up. I'm here to make sure you don't do anything stupid.
yes. Now I won't sit here and say some of them do deserve it. Some
Hmm.
of them do some things that deserve physical violence. Like for instance, there would be times people would jam their door shut with their hard metal or their hard plastic cups that we would give them. Their white hard plastic cups that they got for commissary and stuff to put drinks in and water, and they would jam the doors shut so you couldn't open them. And so we would have to use force to get the doors open, and then by that time everyone was pissed off, and a little scrap would happen. They'd get taken, and restrained and put in, confinement and all that. But sometimes it was unnecessary, but it kind of got to the point where, even when I would go out to restaurants and stuff, I would have to sit with my back towards the wall. Like you always find yourself not being able to just be yourself, because even though you're out in public, you're always constantly thinking somebody's behind you. The more and more time you spend in a prison, the more it takes hold of you.
Yeah.
You're constantly on high alert at all times. You're always angry there. The longer you work there, the less patience you get. And then that you turn around and you bring that home. To your wife and kids, and it's just not something that every man can do. I did it. I didn't enjoy doing it, but I did do it because of the pay, obviously. But yeah, if I could go back, that's one I'd probably say I don't want to ever do again. And it's not that it was bad; it's just prison systems alone are just bad. They're
Yeah.
not ran well. You
The
know.
system is fucked up from top
Yeah.
to bottom.
Yeah.
They gotta redo it. They never will, but it's gotta be fixed. But what about you, Zion? Zion is
There.
Zion's not with us right now, so I'm gonna ask AK the complete opposite question. What has been your most favorite job you've ever had?
Oh, definitely working in the oil field, man. Whenever I lived up in Alaska and I worked in the oil field, I would go and I was actually stationed out on the monopod, which is out in the middle of the ocean in Alaska, up in the very cold. And dude, every morning you'd go out and it'd be like 4 in the morning because we'd have to be at work at 6. So we'd wake up, we'd go get our eggs, bacon, whatever you get in the morning to eat, and you could walk out on the deck and have a cigarette then. And every morning I'd do it because, dude, I've seen some of the most beautiful sunrises in Alaska over the ocean. When the sun hits the ice and all the colors it makes and all that, dude, it's phenomenal. I've got to ride in helicopters. I've got to ride in ships, freights. Um, I've got hoisted up 20 stories on a fishing net before. Dude, it was a really cool experience, and it's definitely shit I wasn't able to do if I would have stayed here in Pennsylvania. So
That sounds great.
deep sea fishing too, which is very fun.
Oh, you were a deep sea fisherman. Holy shit.
Oh yeah, dude, my boss, he had a boat, and we went out one weekend, me, my wife, and his wife, and we went halibut fishing on a Saturday when we came home. And dude, that right there, man, that's intense. If for those of you who don't know what halibut are, they are flat fish with their eyes are on the same side. You know which fish I'm talking about
Yeah,
now.
I've seen those. Yeah, I've seen those.
They can weigh up to 600 pounds. They can get up to 1200. You can only catch 3 per adult, and we hit our limit that day. But I'll tell you what, man, you put on weights onto the end of your fishing rod, and it only takes a second for them to reach the bottom. They're that heavy, and you feel it boom at the bottom, and man, no lie, it's less than 5 minutes. You're at the bottom and you have one. It's that easy. but the struggle is real, bro. I'm not gonna
600. To be honest, how many people did it take for you to reel that damn thing in?
Oh, it only took me, but I'll tell you what, it took 20 minutes. They fight. They honestly fight. By the time I reeled in the second one, dude, my arms were jelly. The third one, I believe my boss had to finish bringing it in because I just wasn't able to hold my rod anymore. Like it was my arms were just jelly, dude. But I'll tell you what, it was the most fun I've ever had fishing in my life. I understand why people do it now. You know, if every fish would fight the way halibut do, man, I would be an advocate fisher, man, easily. Like,
Yeah.
but I'll tell you what, no rainbow is going to give you a fight like that. You know,
Yeah.
no big mouse bass is going to do that. But it was intense, man. I enjoyed it.
We got to get that on camera one day. Yo. Zion, you back yet?
Yeah, I'm back, son. I was just
All
listening
right.
to your story.
Yeah. So, what has been your least favorite job experience?
Real fast, I love deep sea fishing too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't been as much as I wanted to in my life, but when those few opportunities that I did, it's super absolutely fun.
And I gotta say, bro, before you go, there is nothing like freshly caught deep sea halibut. Like same day, take it home, skin it, make
Yes, sir.
kebabs. Dude, we made kebabs out of it the same day. Oh my god, I never knew seafood was so amazing.
I
Like,
love it. Oh,
oh,
dude. Yeah, I
so
love seafood, bro. Let's get it. Um, West job. I had a lot of jobs. Like I didn't have a lot of jobs. I had a lot of summer like intern programs, and I was an intern for like short like eighth grade to like 12th grade. But probably like my first official job, straight out of high school, was probably working at Shell gasoline station, and I love the family that owned the station. Great people, but just the amount of shit that we had to put up with sucked. We had a recycling at that Shell gate station, which basically what I did was recycle. And the shit I used to find in people's bottles, and for the rate that they paid us, it just wasn't it just wasn't worth my time. And like it sucked. I could go on forever on how it sucked, but like it came to the point where they didn't believe that like taking lunch or breaks was necessary because we could eat and smoke whenever we wanted to, and like that's cool and all, but we still want to leave the premises, and just finding diapers in like people's recycles and all that nasty shit, like
Fucking used
especially
condoms.
especially growing up in Hawaii, it used to rain a lot. So half the time these recyclables are red. So like the old beer cans, and just I used to dream about the sound of glass because we used to have these big bins that we used to have to dump them in, and like all like just imagine hearing cans over and over again getting dumped, hearing glass bottles. We used to have earplugs because the glass would be so loud. But just hearing that over and over again, I used to dream about it, and like it was just I had the opportunity to get out of it, and I did, and I'm glad that I did.
Yeah. And then I asked AK the opposite of that question. What has been your most favorite job experience that you've ever held? Zion?
Yeah, I'll go first. He's thinking.
No,
no,
no.
no,
I
no,
already
no,
asked
I
AK
already
that
answered.
Oh, you will. Oh, sorry. I said you said I'll let AK go
No,
first
no,
on
no,
this
no.
question. My bad. I would say it sucked because the company got closed down and had to lay us all off because they didn't end up needing it. But I worked at this cannabis company, and all we did was, you know, grab pounds from the cage and weigh it out on trays and separate it into eighths and quarters and ounces, and we'll have Netflix up on the TV, or we'll have Pop Smoke or Easy E in the background playing on loud Sonos speakers, surround sounds, and just the vibe of that whole place was just legit. My boss used to come in at 4:30, and like it was in COVID, it was true COVID too, and he used to be like, okay, guys, I think we should go take a break. Pass everybody a blunt, and like we'll smoke. Everybody will have their own blunt. We'll smoke a blunt, and he'll be like, "Hell yeah, guys, finish up for the day and let's get out of here." And like, it's just like being able to smoke cannabis on the clock and just have a cool time while at work. We used to like one day it was so slow that we only had to weigh a certain because we only had to weigh a certain amount of cannabis out for this club, and we ended up just putting on a chicken shong up in smoke and Pineapple Express, and we finished. We didn't even get to half. We watched Chicken Chong, but we didn't even get to finish half a Pineapple Express until we was done for the day. But just going to work and just being in like, obviously that's like super rare. You're not even gonna find that nowadays. But like, there's obviously amazing jobs in the cannabis industry. I had several, but that job in particular was one of my favorites.
All right, bro. All right, bro. And then tell me about the 3 most influential people in your life and how they impacted you.
I'll probably
Zion, you
go
want
with
to start?
I'll go first. I'll go with my mom because she was a single mom and she raised like she's my mom and my dad. There's enough said. I don't want to take too long on that. I'll go with my uncle Lloyd, because he was the ultimate father figure in my life. He's the one that just threw me in the ocean and said swim. He's the one that used to discipline me if I was like doing anything stupid at school or anything. My mom would call him. He actually lived with us for a little bit. He's like one of probably like he probably is my dad. I call him uncle, but he is my dad in a sense. He is that dad figure, and the other person will probably have to be my sister because like I never really said this out loud once, and I'm shocked that I said my sister because when my mom was working all those jobs and all the homies was at the crib, my sister was the one that was like cooking the dinners and making sure that I'm okay. And obviously she went out and did her thing with her friends, but I remember like countless hundreds of hamburger helpers and lasagna and all the meals that she used to cook for me. So those 3 people I'll probably have to say that answers your question.
Yes, sir. What about you, AK?
Well, I'm gonna tie my grandparents into one because there's not one memory that I have with my grandmother that my grandfather wasn't involved in, and vice versa.
Of course.
So my grandparents are first and foremost probably the most biggest influential people in my life. They taught me what it was growing up being a boy and a man, and what I have turned out to be is a lot because of them. My grandfather taught me, all a man has in life is his word. If you tell somebody you're going to do something, do it. You don't want to be known as the man that says he's going to do something and doesn't. And secondly, your image is everything. You want people to think positive about you. You want people to know that you're a helpful person when you can, and that you're kind and generous. You don't want people to think you're an asshole or and someone that doesn't care. You know, he. So they taught me that. The second one would probably have to be my father-in-law, who passed away about 6 years ago. He was the first man, other than my grandfather, to kind of show me a different side of life that you don't know exists, and that's from a father standpoint and from a grown man on his own standpoint. So there's a lot of life lessons I learned from him, and a lot of good things he was able to teach me. And then third,
What's good, Ref?
What's up, Raphael?
my wife, man. Um, she through everything she has stuck around, good, bad, everything. And she's shown me what it's like to be strong. She's shown me what it's like to truly have someone love someone, and it's a good thing, man. What she does. So yeah, she's my rock. So she plays a pretty strong role in my life.
And for one of our final questions here, we're probably only going to go for about 10, 15 more minutes. If you guys could just sit down and have dinner with one historical figure, who would it be? We'll start with Zion.
Let me think about that.
All right.
It's a good one. Let me think. Yeah.
Mine would probably be Walter Payton.
Has to be dead or alive.
It could be any.
Damn, I don't really know. I'm thinking, man.
Yes, sir, Raphael. We'll schedule some.
Okay.
You know, just to make it a little easier on you guys, I'll say 3 people. You guys could have dinner with 3 people because I know a lot of names are probably.
I can't
racing
even
through
think
your
of
brain.
one. Like, I just
What?
don't know what. Like, I can think of
Seriously?
one. Yeah, I can think of one. But like, I don't know.
Is
Yeah,
it
three
easy
people.
E?
Three
Is it
people.
easy
No,
E?
it's not easy. It's not Eric White. No.
All right, dude. I can easily do 3 people,
Okay,
man.
go. He goes first, and I'll go second.
All right. Bob Marley,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a good one.
yeah. I had that in mind.
JFK,
Interesting.
and Tupac.
I had Tupac in mind. I was like, damn, Bob Marley and Tupac I had in mind too. And I don't want to just copy you, so I'm just gonna copy one. I'm gonna say Tupac. I am gonna copy. I was thinking of a U.S. president before he said JFK, but my U.S. president's gonna be Abraham Lincoln. And then I don't want to say. Oh man, I have to be like an old head from all the way in ancient times. Probably wouldn't even understand him, but like I want to read some like I don't know.
Well, no. Why don't you just make it easy on yourself then and just go with Gandhi? Because he's ancient and he fucking was able to understand.
Mine personally, I would probably go with DMX. Adolf, not gonna say it just so I could see what the fuck he was on. And then
I'm gonna go with Edgar Casey. I'd like to have a
all right,
sitcom with Edgar Casey.
all right, yeah. So Walter Payton, Adolf, not gonna say his name because I don't want the stream to get taken down, and DMX. Those are
I
my
like it.
3. I just want to see what that fucking maniac was on.
I
But
was gonna say Nikola Tesla, but I won't understand him. He's like I'll need a dictionary. So like, give me Edgar
Dude,
Casey.
I won't lie, man. There was one I was fooling with, but I didn't end up saying it, but I'll say it now. Fucking Ted Bundy.
oh
Ted
yeah,
Bundy.
Like, no
yeah.
lie, dude. You're looking at probably one of the most normal individuals in life that no one would ever think otherwise.
It's all
And
those
yet he
normal
was the
guys.
most dangerous human being to probably ever walk the planet, you know? So, yeah, I would love to just sit down and pick his brain apart and just be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, how did you come to this conclusion? This is who you are. It's like when the sun went down and the moon came out, Ted Bundy turned into somebody else all the time. He was normal during the night and fucked up at night. I don't understand.
Yeah, I'd love to do a episode just strictly on fucking serial killers. That sounded weird, but you get where I'm coming from. And then
Oh no, they're fascinating individuals, man.
Yeah,
Like I'm
the
not gonna lie.
human.
Like I know some people might sit there and be like, "Wow, y'all are fascinated with serial killers." Well, dude, they're
Well,
very fascinating people. I
I
mean,
was
look
gonna
at the
say the
case
normal uh, the normal
in the
human
early
is
2000s.
fascinated by like humans are just drawn to like serial killers and violence. Like not on purpose, but like well yeah, it's kind of like we're just drawn to it. Like I have like there's very few people that like I think obviously you pose that because that's correct. People may sit here and be like, what are these guys talking about? But I think if you ask the average person, they love watching a serial killer documentary.
Like,
yeah,
listen, I didn't say I idolize them.
yeah,
There's a
no,
difference.
No,
There's a difference.
I
Absolutely.
said they
Absolutely.
interest me.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
they are interesting people. Like, for instance, if you can sit here and say you're not interested in the Zodiac killer and how he did his shit and all the letters he wrote and all the special, characteristics and things he did, like, dude, you don't find that interesting, then you're probably a pretty dull individual. That's fascinating shit. There's so many of them. Like I said, Ted Bundy. Uh,
Ed Kemper.
yeah. What's his name? Oh shit, I can't. The Cali guy. Oh crap.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. It's completely
It's
blanking
like
right now.
5 foot nothing, man. Little short shit. Charlie. Um.
Sorry, I'm blanking too.
Yeah, but Ed. Speaking of height, Ed Kemper is about 6'8", 350 pounds.
He killed that actress woman. And he had the cult that
Charles
followed.
Manson?
Charles Manson. Charles
Okay,
Manson.
Yeah,
sorry.
Charles Manson. Like fascinating individual. You know, the dude that made that whole cult drink the Kool-Aid. What's his face?
Oh, I remember that guy. But
Yeah, dude. Like
I
all these people are fascinating individuals, and talk about the brain power that these individuals had to make people do these things. Like it's a whole segment, dude. It's truly a crazy. And then you had the one in Texas, the dude where he ended up burning it down. Like they had the Navy and stuff there, the military, in Waco. Remember the Waco thing?
Yes.
remember the Portland cult.
The what?
The cult up in Portland. There was like a documentary about them, Wild Wild West.
That's one
I
I've never heard of.
I've never heard of that actually.
I'm gonna have to look that up. Thank you.
Hey, no problem.
And then on to the next question. Where do you guys see the world in 55 years?
Oh shit. Okay, two things. Either we're gonna all be dead because we're gonna be wiped out by a common end time event, or we're gonna be living a life that you can't even wrap your mind on right now. It's fun to always predict the future and always because I love doing it, and this will open up a whole 2 hour Pandora box. But we can't even wrap our head around technology in 55 years because, like, if you just look at the past 20 years, we went from a Nokia snake phone to a damn near supercomputer in your pocket in the Note 22 Ultra or the iPhone 13, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, like the world in 55 years, like just what I'm researching by 2030, we're gonna probably have self-driving vehicles. Uber's probably gonna own like 100,000 a fleet of self-driving vehicles. There's still gonna be vehicles on the road, but and then that's just the automotive build side of things. Like just talk about how about like the mobile side of things. I don't even think smartphones are gonna be around that much longer. It's gonna be moved into wearable technology. So by 2000 and in 55 years, is the singularity going to happen? Or are we going to be infused with machines? Or are we already able to
No.
upload our memories? We have these Silicon Valley companies. If you think about the world that we're living in, it's totally different from a billionaire's world point of view. A billionaire
Check the
right
private
now,
chat.
It's gonna
a
be a
billion
surrogate world.
yeah, a billionaire right now could I don't know. A billionaire right now could basically buy themselves a new body. So in 55 years, you couldn't even wrap around what's possible.
Like, did you ever see the movie The Surrogate with Bruce Willis?
Yes.
That's what it's gonna be in like 55 years. Like, no lie, everybody's gonna be. They're gonna have a cyber kinetic copy of you, and you get to choose exactly what you want to be, and you know you're going to put on this headset and it's going to be you while you're just lying in a bed. You know, the only time it shuts off is when you get up to pee or go get something to eat, you know, or at nighttime when you come home. But when you're out and about, like it's doing everything for you, you know, like it's going to be that way. Listen,
I mean, like,
it's getting there now. I mean, video games are already getting there, you know, pretty much. I'd say maybe in the next 15, 20 years at least, maybe sooner, Ready Player One will be a real thing.
yeah, you already have companies like Facebook changing their name to Meta. You have companies like
Yeah.
Amazon, or you have companies like Apple. Like you have these big companies, Microsoft, all gonna move into that field.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's probably gonna do it to wrap everything up. Just short and sweet episode today, about 45 minutes. You guys got anything to shout out before we wrap it up?
I just want to say thank you for having me on, and
No
I'd love to
problem.
come on in another future episode. That'll be cool if I'm on another episode with AK. We'll continue this great conversation. Yeah, please sub up to all these amazing content creators on Airtime. Sub up to AK Eagles. Link's gonna be down in the description below, and you can get at me at Zion Zenith. Let's get it.
Yes,
Go
sir.
right ahead, Eagles.
Yes, sir. I am AKEagles. Appreciate you having me on, man. It's always fun talking about this kind of stuff. You know, usually it's just football, so it's kind of good to just refresh the brain and let it think of something different. And alwaalways down to do this, man. So yeah, appreciate you having me on and sub these guys up too. They are great content creators themselves. And yeah, we'll see you tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you guys so much for watching. That's going to do it for the third episode. Peace.